Okay, so let's get this party started. Um, where we left off was uh, we got Elliot in here, and we can then bring over the analyzed and created uh, problem that we ask Elliot, and it'll come in here, and then it bugs out because I just tested it. So we'll give it a shot real quick. Sorry, this is gonna be kind of loud.
Hello, I'm Elliot, your coding tutor.
Hey Elliot, can you give me a good Python problem as a beginner?
Hey there. Great to meet you. I'd love to help you with a beginner-friendly problem. Let's work on a beginner strings problem. Group anagrams. Here's what we need to do. Given a list of words, group together all the words that are anagrams of each other. Anagrams are words that use the same letters but in different orders. For example, if we have eat, tea, tan, ate, gnat, bat, we'd group them like eat, tea, ate, tan, gnat, bat, because eat, tea, and ate all use the same letters.
Okay,
This is
I get
perfect
it.
for practicing with lists, dictionaries,
Check.
and string
Hey,
manipulation.
can you hear me?
All, yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, hold
Sorry,
on.
I think,
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
sure, take your time. I'm here when you're ready.
It was populating.
No problem at all. I'm here whenever you're ready to continue. Just let me know when you want to work on that group anagrams problem, or if you'd like to try something different.
All right, it's not working. Hold on. Might have forgot to do something. Okay, let's try this again.
Hello, I'm Elliot, your coding tutor.
Hey Elliot, really, really briefly, and not saying a lot of words, give me a really easy Python problem for a beginner.
Let's work on an easy basics problem. Sum two numbers. Here's what we need to do. Write a function that takes two numbers and returns their sum.
Okay, awesome. Hold on a second.
Sure, take your time. I'll be here when you're ready.
There it is. Okay, can you see the code that I put in there?
I can see your editor has the basic template with a comment, write your Python code here, but I don't see any specific code for the sum problem yet. Go ahead and start coding. Try writing a function called something like add numbers that takes two parameters and returns their sum. Give it a shot, and I'll help if you get stuck.
Okay, can you?
Great, I'm ready to help as you start coding. Just write your function and let me know when you want me to take a look or if you have any questions along the way.
So you can't see that right there.
No, I can only see the basic template in your editor, the comment that says write your Python code here, but no actual function code yet. If you've written something, I'm not seeing it on my end. Go ahead and tell me what you've written or describe.
Okay, so I guess he isn't aware of what's there. So we're able to generate a conversation and we can process the transcript with Anthropic and then have it transfer over that into the actual question to be populated in the editor over here. Except we need him to be aware of the updates that happen here. Um, yeah, and there's just a couple things we just need to simplify in general. Um, I kind of want to have a way to split this into like pseudocode because that's how I want to start off all these problems. And then have a little bit more of a custom form when I um, start transferring it over to syntax. So um, yeah, let's I also want to clean up this side of things. I'd like to actually see the chat, um, like progressive load here. I think that'd be cool. So yeah, so we're just gonna basically get more functionality out of this thing. Yeah, we just want to be able to bounce back and forth through text and through voice. And we want to basically have it like, like Elliot's sitting right next to us. So, yeah, let's go to the code. Okay, so we're on main and we'll make a new branch. Grade chat panel. And, yeah, chat panel and editor. Why not? Okay, let's get a new chat going. And I want to add the route for the tutor, the page, the tutor chat. The VAPI hook's already there. What else is over here? It's pretty simple right now. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's start with that. I want to upgrade the styling for the chat panel and have it progressive load as the transcript conversation from VAPI response. I'm going for fashion over functionality right now because that's what I'm most curious about. I just want to see a progressive load and then we'll figure out a better system to get the chat panel and the editor connected. So we can actually go, this is progressive loading right here. So basically it's printing and keeping the scroll bar at the bottom. This is a really good way to kind of simulate that it's loading faster. Because if we just left it up here and we just had to wait, it gets a little precarious in terms of your patience tolerance. So one of the tricks to kind of disguise the loading that a lot of these like LLMs and like chat interfaces do is they'll do this progressive loading because now it's like, yeah, now you're like mesmerized, watching it just print. So, yeah, progressive loading is what that's called. I tried to do it on my satellite IDE and I couldn't get it to work very well. But I can come back to it. I got it working and then I refactored the whole thing and then when I tried to update some stuff in the panel, it broke again. So this is the part of the project timeline that I really do appreciate using AI because with the amount of momentum we have, it's really fast and really fun just to see the before and after stuff. Wonder why it wanted me to add CSS. Gradient backgrounds and modern styling. Okay, this might be cool. Oh, okay, we had to add some animation to the globals. Okay, okay. Let's see what we get. Sorry, I at least want to glance at what it did. Okay. The tutor chat component with progressive loading. Okay. Chat bubble component. Okay, so this is where it added the chat bubble. And then this is the actual return statement, UI. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna have a chat bubble, and it's gonna show either a user response or a or the bot. Cool. I guess it'll have a timestamp there as well. And then here's the transcript display. Okay. And we have some sort of please review my code function. Okay. Okay, let's see what we get. Okay. Is that the last one? Oh yeah, we gotta do the globals. Okay, cool. Add that to the globals. Accept. Get me out of there. Do the old copy and paste to fix this any TypeScript error. What I think I'm actually going to do is add another section to this Python tutor that's TypeScript, and it'll allow you to kind of like debug these like TypeScript errors, so I can learn how to be able to handwrite these errors better. All right. Yeah, so while it prints, I read it. That's kind of what it is. And then if anything jumps out to me, I'll go in and kind of look at it more. I don't know why I needed this much refactoring for the interface to work better. Okay. And then it re-added back the apostrophes. It's so smart, and then it overlooks the apostrophes. I'm pretty sure I could probably make some sort of settings, not have it debug that. Okay, so let's see what we get. Cool. Okay, let's go together. Okay, let's see what we get.
Hello, I'm Elliot, your coding tutor.
Hey Elliot, what's going on, man? I need a let's work on FizzBuzz.
Hey there. Great choice. FizzBuzz is a classic and really useful for practicing loops and conditionals. Let's work on a beginner loops problem. FizzBuzz. Here's what we need to do. Write a program that prints numbers from 1 to 100, but for multiples of 3 print fizz, for multiples of 5 print buzz, and for multiples of both 3 and 5 print fizzbuzz.
All right.
For example,
hold on. let's let's see if we can get this thing going. 1 second.
No problem at all. Take your time getting set up.
Okay,
Perfect. I see.
what do you see?
I can see you've got the Python editor open with a blank file. Just the comment, write your Python code here at the top. You're all set to start coding the FizzBuzz problem. So to recap,
Okay, so there's so many things that are busted on this thing. The progressive loading was like 50% there. So one thing I do randomly, hold on. Is like when it's just too much shit to explain visually, I just give it a picture. So you can like screenshot and upload your image here. Um, cool. Uh, let me just take a look at what it was just so I remember. Yeah, I didn't like. Okay, so I don't like how this should actually be text and it should only be rendering here. Also, this styling is not working clearly. Um, as well, it broke my vertical scrolling on the y-axis. So yeah, it's something. We can get there. So we want to yeah, we need to be able to make the input box clean and have the transcript only populate in the chat. Okay, that's what we need to say. Make the input box clean and only for the user to type in, and have the chat only populate and progressive load in the chat container. Do I make myself clear? Let's see what we get. Okay. Are we having fun yet? The real fun will be when we're having meltdowns trying to figure out how to dynamic program or iterate over a 2D array or some shit. That's when you'll really have some fun. You'll be wishing for a TypeScript error. All right. This thing's pretty big. We might want to break this down. Tutor chat. It's almost damn near 500 lines. Yeah, if I if this gets a little more lengthy, we're gonna probably have to chunk it out. Okay. What did it do for me? Okay. Clean chat container, clean input box, combined message display, merges voice and text messages in chronological order, shows the voice of the user or the robot, I'm guessing. Uh, collapsible, enhance. Okay, let's see what we get. Property ID does not exist on type. Chat bubble. Yeah, they're right. ID isn't there. Fix with AI. Usually shits itself. Okay, cool. Wait, chat bubble. I want to see what the fuck it did. Chat bubble key index. Okay. Okay, let's see what we get. Hard refresh. It like redesigns it every time. We have a little. Dude, those buttons are like invisible. Okay. Start a conversation. That's so hard to read. Um, Great problem. What's the difference?
Hello, I'm Elliot, your coding tutor.
Hey, Elliot, let's work on a really easy Python problem like FizzBuzz.
Great choice. FizzBuzz is a classic and perfect for getting warmed up. Let's work on an easy logic problem. FizzBuzz. Here's what we need to do. Write a program that prints numbers from 1 to 100, but for multiples of 3 print fizz, for multiples of 5 print buzz, and for multiples of both 3 and 5 print fizz buzz. For
Okay.
example, 1,
Now
2,
I get
fizz,
it.
4, buzz, fizz, 7, 8, fizz, buzz, 11, fizz, 13,
Yeah.
14, fizz,
Hey,
buzz.
Elliot.
And
Oh, man. Okay, so this broke. So funny trying to like scream over him. He really, really wants to teach us FizzBuzz. Okay, cool. Let's continue with that. I want to add a pause button. Yeah, I want to have a way to pause his ass, 'cause he just fucking rambles. So, oh, and then we got some other shit going on here for the route. What happened? Invalid type error. We got a 500 from the tutor. I wonder. I broke something when I was talking to him. Oh, this is from probably when I tried to create the actual question. Okay, we need to be actually first things first. Okay, wait. Make the buttons um, more reader accessible. Can't see them. And take out the emojis. It's a beautiful summer day. And I'm just going to sit inside and work on this because that's my favorite thing. I like just sitting here and just building shit. This is like my version of gaming. So yeah, I think it's getting over it. I do need to break it down into smaller sections though. That way I don't have to sit here and watch it print 500 lines. I think when we get this better refined, we'll do that. It's not very hard. I should have just remembered it. Oh, it did index. Yeah, I needed, yeah. We'll get there. Okay, cool. Oh man. Hold on. I'll save it. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see what we get.
Hello, I'm Elliot, your coding tutor.
Hey Elliot, let's do FizzBuzz.
Great choice. FizzBuzz is a classic problem that's perfect for practicing loops and conditionals. Let's work on a beginner loops problem. FizzBuzz. Here's what we need to do. Print numbers from 1 to 100, but replace multiples of 3 with fizz, multiples of 5 with buzz, and multiples of both 3 and 5 with fizzbuzz. For example, 1,
Yeah, I
2,
get it.
fizz, 4, buzz, fizz 7, 8, fizzbuzz 11, fizz 13, 14, fizzbuzz. Does this sound good to start with? I see you have a blank editor ready to go.
Okay, so it's not doing that.
I
Okay,
see you still have the blank template there. No worries. Let's start building this step by step.
okay. So yeah, we have quite a bit of issues going on here. Um, so honestly, what I want is a little microphone right here, and I want to be able to either um, trying to think how I want this. I definitely want a microphone here instead of a start voice, and then yeah, let's start with that. Instead of start voice button, make it a microphone icon in the input to start the chat and stop. Yeah, let's do that for now. I'm just going to break this up into really small revisions. I'm trying to think of this from like the end to end little cycle of this little part. Because I'd rather just hit a microphone, talk into the chat, tell it what I want, have a conversation, extract that, process it, populate the editor, have a global chat context to know about every time I make a revision through some sort of like on click function where I can just apply my attempts, we'll call them, um, to get help with. Yeah, so we need to, yeah, so the pre-processing is getting all the ducks in order for us to generate a problem. The processing is the act of us going through the problem, and then the post-processing a result is going to be us being able to actually um, chat and have a tutoring session verbally with Elliot. Pre-processing, processing, post-processing. You can map it anywhere. Okay. Why do I have a feeling this is going to look sloppy? Let's see.
Hello, I'm Elliot, your coding tutor.
Hey Elliot, how's it going? Can you give me an easy problem like FizzBuzz?
Hey there. Going great. Thanks for asking. FizzBuzz is a perfect choice to get started. Let's work on an easy loops problem. FizzBuzz. Here's what we need to do. Write a program that prints numbers from 1 to 100, but replace multiples of.
Okay, cool. It's closer. We got a microphone in there now. Um, let's add a pause button. That way we can then have a pause. Because I think what's bugging out is that we have the chat uh, from VAPI coming in and we're saying to process it and it's still live. And I don't know. Well, first off, I think the route actually in the code for uh, creating a problem, the extraction of creating the problem from the chat, I think that's broken now. And then, yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought. Okay, so, um, yeah, here we go. Add a pause button. Yeah, I had a pause button so I can pause the chat assistant and make sure he stays aware of the chat history. That actually might be tricky because I don't know if there's that kind of chat history yet. Ensure the assistant stays aware of the chat. Yeah. Okay, so we got to use the use VAPI hook. Include the pause resume. Yeah. It's possible. I just don't know how much of that we already have because we basically have to start the conversation, pause it, and then append everything after it, but then also make sure that VAPI knows about all the all the historical context from that conversation. It's kind of like a bubble sort. Okay, so give me something good. All right. Yeah, we're getting a little outlandish. I think it was like 10 minutes ago I said we were around 500 and it was really around 450. And now we're another 150 lines deep. Yep, just waiting for the code. This is a long one. Okay, cool. I'm guessing this could potentially have some errors for us. Not like we didn't already. So, okay, let's see what it says. Pause button, resume button, state management is pause stack, state tracks pause status. Okay. Paused history stores conversation when paused, context injection sends conversation context when resuming. That's what I'm talking about. Seamless resume. Okay. Seamless resume. I mean, seamless resume. Uh, assistant remembers the full conversation. Cool. Okay. Kind of want to glance at how it's doing that. Yeah, this thing's way smarter than me. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then this is where a lot of the actual logic's taking place. Um, include both regular chat history and pause history. Okay, so we have an all history variable. Let's, and then you have a history summary, assistant override for the injection, I'm guessing. Um, and they have some state. Okay. Oh wow, then it starts a new call actually. Let's see if, huh, okay. Okay. So it's supposed to say we're going to pause it, and then in the back end, it's going to tell it, "Hi, I'm back. Please continue our conversation where we left off." Sometimes I think it's funny how, like, how with working on these, like, AI routes and API calls, the content property, you still talk to it like a person. You know, I don't know. I think it's funny. Okay. Like, all I'm saying is, like, why would we, like, it's funny that the abstraction is to a point where, like, we have a content attribute and we talk to it in person or like in normal English, and instead of just having to like write this in JavaScript, of just like initialize and start this shit. Okay, so yeah, let's give this a shot. All right, are we on the right one? Yeah. Okay, got a little bit of something there. Okay. I wonder if I need that. Not VAPI. Okay. Index. I should have done that. Okay. Let's oops. Okay. Except see what we get now. Okay.
Hello, I'm Elliot, your coding tutor.
Hey Elliot, let's do FizzBuzz.
Great choice. FizzBuzz is a classic problem that's perfect for practicing loops and conditionals. Let's work on a beginner loops problem. FizzBuzz.
See if it'll create the problem. Okay. I don't know if that's the best way to do things. I think what would be better is if the conversation led itself um, to a conclusion that he says, um, is this what you would like to do? You know, like for example, like, would you like to do FizzBuzz? And then that triggers something dynamically to where we'll get to say yes or no. And when it says, if a user says yes, then that will trigger the generation and then populate over here. I think that is probably better. Because right now it's not working separately. So I wonder what's more complex. Um, so I'm just trying to think about two ways to go about this. Either doing what I just explained, or just trying to fix the create problem, and then going over and fixing what I wanted to do. Because if this is working, then upgrading this to be a yes or no off of a transcript summary after like explicitly telling VAPI when and where to stop. Um, I want to get the create problem working. Okay. Now I need to be able to take the paused transcript and create a problem to be parsed and then populate the result in the editor. Okay, let's see what it gets us. Seems like I knew what I want. All right, keep this going. Yeah, I think we'll refactor this a little bit just because it's pretty painful to have to sit here in silence watching me just read this. Um, so I don't know. I don't really have any intention with these videos except just to kind of turn OBS on and talk out loud while I do it. I have a couple friends that have been curious about my workflow, and I gave a few lessons to a guy with cursor, so it kind of led me to think that maybe somebody would want to watch this or people would want to see it. Ooh, she's going strong today. Yeah, we're gonna need to break this down. This is just too much. Pause transcript access. What is it saying? Okay, now when you pause a voice conversation, you create a structured coding problem from the pause transcript, and it will be automatically populated in the editor with all the necessary details like problem description, examples, constraints, and starter code. Cool. Let's in true AI prompting fashion, let's not read any of this shit and apply. Oh yeah, I don't ever do apply all because I don't know if, yeah, sometimes that's too much of a blanket apply all. I still like to be very manual with like the applications and keeping track of what's what. Okay, so we got some errors. Oh, okay. Oh, what did it do last time? Okay. This was index, right? Okay. Let's see what that gives us. Oops. Whoa. Man. Oh, this is miserable. Hold on. Okay, let's see what we get. Hard refresh. Okay. AI tutor. Okay. This.
Hello, I'm Elliot, your coding tutor.
Hey, what's up, Elliot? Let's do some fizz buzzing.
Hey there, great to meet you. FizzBuzz. That's a classic. Let's work on an easy loops problem. FizzBuzz. Here's what we need to do. Print numbers from 100, but replace multiples of 3 with fizz, multiples of 5 with buzz, and multiples of both 3 and 5 with fizzbuzz. For example, 1, 2, fizz, 4, buzz, fizz, 7, 8, fizz, buzz, 11, fizz, 13, 14, fizz, buzz, and so on. This is perfect for practicing loops and conditional logic. Does this sound good to start with?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the solution doesn't have a loop in it.
Interesting perspective. You're thinking outside the box. While most people solve FizzBuzz with a loop, you're right that there are other approaches. Are you thinking of something like using list comprehensions, or maybe recursion, or perhaps you have a completely different approach in mind? I'm
No,
curious to see what you're thinking. Why don't you start coding your solution in the editor
no, it's
and show me what.
just, isn't it? If I remember correctly, you're just doing comparisons and then based off the modulo of 3 equaling 0 and then returning fizz or buzz. So there's no loops.
I see what you're getting at. You're absolutely right that the core logic is just those modulo comparisons, checking if a number mod 3 equals 0 for fizz and mod 5 equals 0 for buzz. That's the heart of it. But typically FizzBuzz asks you to do this for a range of numbers, like 1 to 100, which is where the loop comes in, to go through each number and apply those comparisons. Are you thinking of
Oh, well,
writing a
no, I think the times that I've seen it, it wasn't asking from a range of numbers. I think it was just asking like if a number was odd. Yeah, it was something like that. If a number was odd, write fizz. If a number was even, write buzz or something.
I think I see the confusion. What you're describing sounds like a different problem, maybe a simple odd even checker where you print fizz for odd numbers and buzz for even numbers. That would indeed just be a single if-else statement with no loop. The classic FizzBuzz problem is specifically about iterating through numbers 1 to 100 and applying those modulo rules I mentioned. But hey, your version sounds interesting too. Which one would you like to work on? We could do your odd even FizzBuzz version or the traditional FizzBuzz with the loop.
Let's do the one.
Both are great coding.
Let's do the one with the loop.
Perfect. Let's do the traditional FizzBuzz with the loop. So we need to iterate through numbers 1.
Okay. So if I do this, yeah, it didn't work. Yeah, okay. Not working. Pretty cool that Elliot was working that well, though. I kind of forgot I was talking to a fucking robot. Yeah, so now we're going to get into the real fun of it and start doing what Cursor's really good at, is just dumping in the fucking errors and then fixing them. Really, really brainless, but we'll get it. Don't worry, in like 2 years, I don't think this little workflow is going to exist. Because the jump from actually being able to know how to fix this to just aimlessly clicking and copying and pasting over for it to get done for you, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's like what they're trying to accomplish with like MCP and full automation and or full autonomy and like closed systems where like the AI just iterates and fixes itself. I think in the next like 5 years, like making an application like I'm doing right here is gonna be like the equivalent of like putting in like a microwave dinner into the microwave and waiting 2 minutes. Um, why is it giving me? Gosh. Oh, well, that could be a problem. I don't have sufficient credits. Okay, 1 second. Let's go buy some shit. Hold on, let me. Okay, 1 second. I'll have to come back. Hold on. All right. I think we are back. Okay, cool. Cool. Here we go. I just bought more credits. So let's give this another shot. Um, fuck it, let's send it. Blammo. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. There we go. Didn't even have to refresh. Okay, perfect. I've created the FizzBuzz problem and set it up in your editor. You can start coding now. Cool. Okay, so um, that's a good start. Good Lord. Okay, let's see. Okay, the scrolling works. This is pretty solid so far. Okay, hold on.
Hello, I'm Elliot, your coding tutor.
Hey, Elliot, can you see the chat history in that in the problem that I'm working on?
Yes, I can see everything. You're working on the FizzBuzz problem, and I can see the function signature in your editor with the doc string explaining the requirements. It looks like you need to implement the logic where multiples of 3 become fizz, multiples of 5 become buzz, multiples of both become FizzBuzz, and everything else becomes a string of the number itself. Are you ready to start coding this up, or do you have any questions about the requirements first?
Yeah, first I'm going to need to do some pseudocode.
Great idea. Pseudocode is always a smart way to start. It helps you think through the logic before diving into the actual implementation. So for
Excuse me. Okay. Fuck yeah. This is getting somewhere now. Okay, so I'm not actually that mad at the whole pause and then create. Um, I think it makes sense. It might be cool to kind of streamline that though. It would be cool to be able to like press yes or no, if like you agreed to that question. Let's do that next. So for right now, we're gonna save this because this is fucking badass, man. Here we go. Oh God, yeah, this is all fucking grossed out. Hold on. Okay. VAPI and Anthropic UX and generation to editor population. Fuck yeah, we're running. Partial complete. Push. Set that bitch upstream. Okay, here we go. Okay, cool. Okay. I'm going to take a little break and come back to this.